Right, hello people, I'm back. This is part 2. If you've not seen part 1, then you need to look at it. That's just on how to open your laptop Toshiba satellite L350D laptop to fix the jack plug which plugs in, the charger plugs into. Right, now I'm just going to show you how to put it back together, and as we only have like 10-12 minutes on this YouTube, I'm going to try and do it as quick as I can. Right, so the first thing we want to do is get your, I'll unplug myself from there, get the top of the case and just push the screen back a bit so the top goes on and it all lines up. Now this part, reasonably easy, just make sure it all goes down and just push all the way around until you can't hear no more clicking, all around the edges. Right, that's all the clicks are gone. Next thing you want to do is start plugging your wires back in. Plugs, do not miss any, because if you put everything back together and then realise something's not working, it's because you haven't plugged something back in, more than likely. So you just put your plug in up by the fan, make sure that's back in, then you have a white plug which is down here. Right, that one's back in. Now get your little screwdriver and you want to put your ribbons back in. So first of all, put that ribbon back in, make sure the whole of the ribbon is back in, and then just push the clips back in like that. Make sure the clips are pushed right back in. Then you get your other ribbon. Oh, that one decides to go for a walk. Remember, be gentle all the time, you don't want to break nothing. Push that ribbon back in, make sure it's all the way in. Again, push your clips right back in. That's done. Now, next, we get the keyboard. Keyboard slots in at the bottom. There's lots of little like tiny slots. All you need to do is slot them, and as you slot them, the hardest and trickiest part is putting this back in, this ribbon cable. So putting your ribbon cable back in will probably be your most trickiest bit. Again, you want to make sure your clips are out, 2 white clips each side. Don't really need to worry about getting the bottom of the keyboard in yet. Your main priority is getting that cable in, which is very tricky. And the whole of the ribbon cable at the bottom needs to go in. Try not to touch the green bit, because if you're not earthed, you could break or damage something. If it doesn't go in easy, then you might push the clips in by accident. So what you want to do is make sure them clips, oops, I just pulled it back out again. As you're pushing it in, the clips might just push themselves in gently. So you just want to slide the cable in and then push your clip back in so the cable stays in place. Now if your keyboard doesn't work, it's because that ribbon cable is not in properly. Again, just push all them little clips. You'll notice what I'm on about if you do this. So all your screw holes line up at the top, and then you've got your 4 little screw holes which you put your 4 screws back in. I'd advise, if you've got a magnetic screwdriver, use one, it's a lot easier. Now your 4 screws at the top, just in case you did get them mixed up, they're the really tiny screw head ones. Ones where they're really tiny, take like about 3 turns and then they're in. Nearly lost that one. Right, that's the 4. Now, you don't have to do them up tight, just do them hand tight, as long as the keyboard's in. Next thing, you want to get your strip back, big long strip, and just start from the escape button. Make sure it's pushed in at the escape button, and then gently, in line, your lyric clipping in, just push it in, all the way along the top. And that's it, that's the top back on. Now, you just want to shut it, and turn it back over. Normally I'd say put a cloth down so you don't scrape the top of your laptop. If you're moving it about and all that, you might scratch the top of it. So that's what I'd say, is do that. Now first I'm going to do the memory, as the memory is probably the hardest thing to put back in there now. So you get your 2 bits of memory, grab them from the side, as I said in part 1. There's your memory. And all they do is that goes in the bottom one. Make sure all them gold bits are right in. So make sure they're all in so you can't really see them. And then all you do with your finger, just gently push down. Try and do it with your nail, or try not to touch it. Use very carefully. Use something plastic if you've got something like the end of that, and just gently push it down, and it will clip back into place with the 2 clips. Some people might have only 1, but if you're on this laptop then you'll have 2 sticks of memory. So you just push that one in as well. Make sure you can't see the gold bits at the end. Do not touch them gold bits under any circumstances. And then just gently push down, and I don't know if you can hear it click there, and that's clicked. Now all you do, get your case, and you put your case back on. Get your screwdriver out. And we screw that back on, just like that. Next thing, you get your hard drive. There's your hard drive, and then you just lay that flat inside its hole, and then push towards where the ribbon is, and that should, right, see it just slides in there. That slots in, and that's done. Part of this is, oh yeah, it's okay. And then without catching your ribbon, you just put this back on, slide it all back on, put the ending away from the screws first, slide that back in, and then do your screws up. Again, just hand tight, don't need to do them too tight. And then you got your 3 screws that in part 1 I told you to take out from in the battery tray. You just chuck them back in quickly. You go there back in, and we'll leave the battery out at the moment. Don't need to put them back on for now. Then our next step is to put our disk drive back in. There's your disk drive. All it does, make sure the little screw hole is facing the back of the laptop where you're here. So you just slide that back in. If you have a bit of trouble like that, it's not going in, just stand it up a little bit. Right, now all you do, just open your screen a little bit, and you just need to fiddle about with it to make sure it goes in. Which this one wants to be a bugger. So all I'm going to do is open the screen part. Sorry if it's out of view, people. trying to leave it, but there you go. Just a bit of fiddling about. Normally they go straight in. It's the first time I've had a bit of trouble with it. So that's in. Right, now you've got the littlest tiny screw that I told you to keep on the side in part 1. All you need to do is put that back in and screw it in. But at the moment I can't find my one. There you go. So next thing, just get your battery. Pins here, pins there. So you want to slide the other end in first and then just push down. That's done. The only part left is putting all the screws back in. Now you've got loads and loads of screws to put back in, which probably take you a good 10 minutes. So I'm not going to bore you with putting all the screws back in. So it's no point. So I'm going to end the video there. Found me little screw for me disk drive. That's going to go in, and that's it. It's all done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please, again, it's only my first time yesterday, and today was my second time doing this. I'm just doing it to try and help people. I'm not a professional. Please try to not dislike. Right. Cheers. If you have any problems, just leave me a message, or if you like the video, please subscribe. Thanks.